406.5 is going to be support down to 405.5. Below 407.12, all that other stuff is off 10. This is what I was talking about. It's not an easy trade to just say, yeah, I'll buy it because they're on their way. They're above 407.12, but you were right there. Easy to dip below. Doesn't take much. That was the point I was making, not knowing it was going to happen. 406.45 down to 405.80 is a zone of support. Okay, so if they're back above 407.12, that doesn't matter. But if they stay below 407, just round it to 407, stay below 407, then the door is going to be open for that zone. That is a scalpable situation. Can they blow through it? Of course they can, but you should get a scalp within that zone. You can buy them both. You should get paid if you buy them both. They got to do it soon. 406.40, 405.80, call it 85, something like that. 406.45 to 405.80. The lines are on the chart. I know there's a lot of lines on the chart, but you only have to focus on the ones that are in front of current price, whichever direction they're headed. Like this, and this is what we discuss, multiple times a week, which is just use these lines as above one, they're trying to get to the other. They may not always get there, but they're trying. Below one, and they're trying to get to the one below. Doesn't mean the one below is going to be support. In this case, I'm telling you it's a zone. 406.45 to 405.80. They could bounce it at the first or go down to the second or come halfway in between. But there should be a bouncing. So you bounce back to 407 or close to it. So it's a scalp. I'm not looking for 10, 12 points. Might get it, but I'm not looking for it. 406.47 low against 45. Any front runners? Now I'll get back to that question because that is applicable here so far. Maybe not in a minute, but the question was, can you front run your numbers? And I answered this question today, actually, before. And I said, you can do whatever you want. You can front run it by a few pennies or whatever, or in case of ES, 2-3 points is a pretty large front run. But my numbers are my numbers. I'm giving you the numbers. Sometimes they come up short, sometimes they spike them through, but here's the way I trade. And here's what I said yesterday, today, and I think a lot of other days. An exit is, I like to front run the exit because I want to sell into a rising market if I'm long, right? I want to sell into the strength of the rising market, not be chasing it back down. You're giving away profits. So I don't want to wait for them to get to the number because they'll play games with it, trick, trap, and fool you. And then next scene shows you just gave up like a lot of points because you're chasing it back down. I want the best price I can get. Do I miss trades because of that? Absolutely. But I would rather buy below the number or at the number than in front of the number. That's me. But you can do whatever you like. If you're playing a big position and you just want to trickle in front of the number, that's up to you. You could do that. And sometimes you'll get paid and we'll be sitting at the altar like this, right? You could have already got a scalp out of that if you front run the 45, this 406.45, whatever the ES equivalent was at the time. But here they come again anyway. I wasn't front running that. I'm not even buying it. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm giving you the tour guide information. Not looking for a trade right now, but I'm looking to educate you. And I'm looking to give you something if I see it. Then just because I'm not taking it doesn't mean it's not good. There, now they're into the zone. Okay, they bounced at the first number, so you don't buy the first number anymore. I'm sure some of you did, but they already bounced at it. They gave you the scalp trade, so I should have said it before, but I was going to say it anyway. But now here it is in the zone. They should give you a trade in the zone. 405.85, 405.90. They start pushing much below that, and all of a sudden 404.70 is back on the table, and we're going to say, are they going to spike the low and rip it back up in the other direction? Just telling you the thing. Now let me answer that question after watching what just happened, because it just dawned on me. This should be included in the answer. Can you front run a position? I wouldn't necessarily front run the beginning of a zone, but I would front run, and I do front run the bottom of a zone. Those are different things. Once you're into the zone, okay, I'm giving you a zone where there's important numbers and maybe more than just the top and the bottom, but there could be another number in there. You can buy anywhere in a zone. So when I say you can buy near the bottom of a zone, sure, you can front run the bottom of a zone. Absolutely. That's included in that answer. Nice bounce. Anybody take that trade? All right, so we had some takers there. And sometimes it takes time. Maybe they go back down to the lower end of the zone, but now they bounced there already. That's not the same trade down there anymore, just in case anybody's wondering. So it looks like a bunch of you got a little scalp out of that opportunity, figuring it was just going to give it to you. They did. This is just, market goes back and forth, back and forth. Intraday, slow tape, it can certainly accelerate and they can certainly move them. But this is the normal thing that goes on. And so we assume it's normal. We assume it's the duck until it's not. Let them prove to you it's something else. They get above 406.50 and back to 407. Should, at least. So is anybody getting paid? on this trade? Anybody take this trade? That's the higher low trade. That's the pullback higher low trade. If you can find the price, that trade's going to work in an uptrend 8 out of 10 times, 85 out of 100 times, somewhere in there. No, it's not amazing how I come up with these numbers. I've been watching, thank you, but I've been watching the tape almost every tick for like 30 years. Okay. I have just ingrained in my mind how the market works because I've watched it operate using every time frame you can conceivably think of. So I have a long view, a short view, and it's not a secret. There's nothing that I have figured out that you can't figure out. I teach most of it almost every day. Just can't teach everything I know. I don't even know what I don't know. Or I don't even know some of the things that I instinctively know. Sometimes I can't articulate. But anybody in this trade, just protect it. Make sure that it's not going to go bad on you. This was we'll call it the missed Friday trade pullback higher low opportunity.